Welcome back to Graveyard Keeper. Last time, we got started, we learned sort of what we want to do, or at least what we can do. There's still a lot of pieces left to this puzzle, so right now we're just doing a bit of gathering, and we're going to learn one of the first minor niggles of the game that really sticks out for me. Item dropping. When items drop, often they'll get in your way and stop you from doing what you're doing.
Oh, that's nice. Why did I never think to do that? That's brilliant.
That's a trick I learned from when Highwing streamed this game.
Ah. Highwing's a friggin' genius.
And that's not the only thing you can do that with. The deal is the logs are too big for you to put in your inventory, so you have to pick one of them up. But you can sort of stack them in a line and push them all along. It's easier if you push them vertically. Oh, there's Snake. Making so much noise when he saunters.
What are you doing in my basement? Sure, yeah. You, just a regular guy. A regular, truck-flattened guy. Are gonna fortify the arch.
Your basement is actually way bigger than you would think. It connects to a lot of different places. You just have to clear out the blockages first. Oh, there's some flour. So now we can make some bread. Or at least we can make the dough. But that's easy.
Oh yeah, just flour and water.
To get the water, all you have to do is go to the well. I didn't know that for a long time. You'll get a bucket, then you have to go in your inventory and use the bucket to actually get the drops of water.
Just scoop the water out of the bucket and keep it in your pocket.
Yeah. Is that how everyone does it?
Yes. I have a couple of liters in my pocket right now.
That's enough sleep. You can stop the sleep anytime you want. It's just usually a better idea to go all the way until you're fully healed.
Yeah, that's what I tell my boss, but, they still don't like when I show up at 11.
Baking the bread doesn't take too long. It takes about a minute of real time.
It's not so bad. Usually you just, set it going and then, oh, hey, buddy.
It's our buddy, the corpse donkey.
Then you just come back and you got just a pile of bread and green experience. And there's the dinner bell.
Yep. So the reason I stopped sleeping is because this is the day that the merchant shows up.
No naughty words in our corpse butchering game.
He has a weird story. It takes some turns.
Welcome to the onion potato hell.
Alternate episode title. Now, you can get butterflies in this game. It's a wonder you can't cook them.
No, you're obviously not a gourmet.
He sells some expensive-ass stuff. especially grape seeds. Skippy mentioned last time, wine, you get the seeds from him.
That's right.
Grapes. Raw wine.
That's right. Grape, or as I call it, proto wine.
Alright, now we can make some sandwiches. Sticks are not an efficient fuel source. You want to break down billets to firewood.
And now, you can assemble that sandwich.
If I had any energy.
Oh, that's right.
Chopping down trees and hauling corpses, and you pass out making a sandwich.
Pretty much. Hang on, I can eat a flower. Yes!
That's right, you just eat a flower.
20 energy is pretty good at this point. And when you make food, you often get multiples. So even though I made one sandwich, it gave me 3.
It's pretty efficient that way. I like it.
They're just little finger sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
Made from fingers.
Speaking of which.
Important thing to remember about the rod, that is the percentage counting down. Once it gets past 80%, that actually rots over one of your white skulls. So you want to be quick with your corpses. Oh, hang on, we gotta get him wine next.
So you see that green padlock, it means that you've got enough friendship with Jerry to progress the quest.
And I also hovered over the star over the wine. A lot of more higher-end foods and the like have a star rating from bronze to silver to gold. A lot of the missions require silver stars, but near the end of the game you're gonna need gold stars. There's only one of them. I don't know how he learned anything. So that's pretty much the shortcut that I mentioned. Your cellar is connected both to the church cellar and also to this passage into town. That's much faster going down there than going overground. You know what? I'm tired of you.
More and more hooch.
How's he making that noise without lips?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good point. He's just got like the memory of floppy cheeks.
Oh, see, it went past 90% and then it rotted too much.
Yeah.
So no, this is basically just a red skull.
About every 10% you lose a white skull.
So I'm pre-preparing for something that I can't do yet. The crematorium is the alternate way you can get rid of corpses, and it's the better, more efficient way. But I don't have the technology for it. In fact, I think I have to continue the quest with the bishop first.
Yeah.
But I can remove more stuff from corpses.
Hard spares and soft spares.
I do also want to make firewood. Wood wedges you mostly use for things like clearing out the blockages, and also later we can find some mining quarries, and you need the wedges in order to get blocks out of them. That'll be nice. Getting honey out of beehives, you can sort of find them. You can find beehives around the map. They're always in specific locations. There's not many we can access right now. But eating honey does recover a bit of health and a bit of energy, not much. It has better uses elsewhere.
Just dump him in the river.
Yeah.
Well, so much for potable water.
That's not even the body that he wanted you to get rid of.
No, but it still counts. And you have no self-preservation, so you'll stay asleep.
That's right. While Jerry's just gnawing on you. He wouldn't do that, though, because you got the hookup for booze.
He's got amazing jaw strength.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
He's using that to propel himself his height in the air.
Just keep laughing at me.
Gonna say, you're gonna need a lot more than some firewood to dispose of a corpse.
Yeah. Takes a lot of heat there.
Still can't yet. That right there was the corpse that the ghost wanted me to get rid of.
Which actually isn't, like, the most tragic. I mean, he's actually fine.
Yeah, for the most part, for this point in the game. There are worse corpses elsewhere. But what we can do... None of his parts were removed before he was buried.
Ah, so time for a little recycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with every corpse, when you remove the blood and the fat, that removes a red skull and gives you a white skull. So always a good idea to do that. The tricky thing is, if you remove the other parts, you have the potential to damage him, and that will add red skulls.
But I'm hungry.
That's fine.
Taking out a flesh removes one white. I mean, there's a whole calculus to what certain organs do.
Yeah. If you plan to burn them, just steal everything and who cares?
Hollow them out.
But if you're planning to bury them, then you need to get the balance right. Alright, but now I can make some firewood. About to run out of energy, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're a bit of a culinarian. Would you recommend using coal as a cooking fire fuel?
That's called grilling.
No, not charcoal. I mean fossil fuel coal.
Oh, no, that's probably a bad idea.
That
Though, I mean, if you're doing it after you've been hit by a truck, sure,
probably fine.
you've got bigger problems.
I hope you like sulfuric acid and cyanide.
Do you not?
Holy jeez.
So it's worth noting, we saw Snake down underground. Usually on the green day, that's when he shows up. But until we've actually met him, he'll always be underground every day.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah.
You broken ass scripting.
We didn't get rid of him. We got rid of his bad bone, at least.
Yeah, there you go. You ripped his jellies out.
Speaking of broken-ass scripting. Unless that was a censored cuss.
Right? Like, I thought he was just Cubert swearing. No, you won't. It's pretty much the last time we're ever gonna see Yorick.
We see him one more time, but yeah, he doesn't turn up. There are other ways to make the graveyard prettier. This is the one you're going to be doing the most.
Yeah. I saw you highlighted embalming there. That's
a later thing.
That's huge.
It becomes very important. Basically, we're able to make different liquids that we inject into the corpses to make them better or worse.
It's just another way to manipulate the skulls.
Yeah.
Embalming fluid, to make sure they're dead. Preservatives, keep them looking nice. Tang.
Well, one of them is acid.
Literal liquid gold.
It's only 3 skulls, but it's all good skulls, so why not?
Early in the game, the requirements aren't that high, so you can mostly just get away with taking out the blood and fat, making sure you don't have any reds, and building decorations.
Do you get some not 3x3 graves at some point?
Nope. Well, kinda.
You get different decorations. But as far as putting people in the ground, that's all you're gonna get.
Yeah.
All that wasted space.
I know.
These log chains are probably the best thing I've learned from this LP. Like, I never want to play this game again, but
Yeah.
if I do, I'm definitely using this.
It only works when you're going up or down. It doesn't work when you're going side to side because they slide off each other.
Yeah.
Alright, so worried about a guy that just asked a bunch of questions.
He's asking all the wrong questions. I'm gonna look it up. Does sard have a meaning? A yellow or brownish red variety of chalcedony?
Watch your mouth!
Oh my.
It's also a romance language, spoken by the Sardinians.
Yeah, I think when he says sard, it's just supposed to be some sort of, I don't know, vaguely fantasy-sounding swear.
Cutesy fake swear word.
Oh, here's one. Verb. To have sexual intercourse.
Ha!
Alright then.
Oh, there you go.
So he's just saying fuck.
He's dropping the S-bomb.
This is an educational LP now.
I'd like to know the etymology of that. Like, is that... Because this is a Russian game. Is that like a Russian thing, or...?
It just says, it's according to Wiktionary, it's obsolete, so...
I'll say it's obsolete.
Also, important to remember, during the morning, as long as in the top right, the sun hasn't reached the top of the meter, there will be 4 slimes up above the house, and that's the best source for green slime. There's also the same thing with bats in the evening, so be careful.
Goody.
So you say this is a Russian game?
Yeah, the studio's Russian.
That explains so much.
Is it Russian? It's maybe I'm assuming too much. Something Slavic. So.
His voice sounds are so sinister.
A witch burning, huh? I'd be honored to go to your witch burning?
Dodge. Roll behind the tree.
Absolutely doesn't matter what you say.
No.
What? No.
I strongly suggest you stop answering questions.
Yeah, stop answering questions to me, the Inquisitor.
Also, you might have noticed, a lot of the characters have their own unique theme that plays whenever you talk to them.
Yeah. So, that's messed up.
Yeah.
If unfair death makes you feel bad, don't play this game, because you need to instigate more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna be smelling this poor lady for days.
Oof.
Let's be buddies. Evil people just need a friend.
I don't know what happens if you decline, but this is pretty important to move forward.
Yeah. He probably doesn't let you not be his friend. Boop.
No, we're done.
Oh! There she goes. Yeah, so, a good old day of wrath. So this kind of spells out the theming for all the NPCs.
Yep. That's what each of their symbols roughly means.
6 days, 6 sins.
And this is the Witch Hill. So this is where the portal is going to be that'll allow us to get home. We can see one of the symbols is lit up. That's because it is the Day of Wrath, so the Inquisitor is here. That's basically a hint that all of these characters that only show up on certain days are all needed in order to complete the portal. There's also a burned down house over here. It's not important, but it is a detail worth remembering. Now the real nice thing, since we've been let in here, this is a bit of a shortcut to the farm. And it's a good thing to clear this path, because we're also right nearby the vineyard. We don't have legal access to the vineyard yet, but you can clear out these spots and grow grapes if you have them. Later we get actual permission to use this, and then we can make more plots if we need to. And you do.
Oh yeah, outlaw wine time.
And in 8-10 years of game time, you get wine.
You can feel like it.
You're gonna tell me this game isn't agriculturally accurate to the real world?
I'm just saying, I would like if a tree popped out of my corpse.
Duly noted.
Okay.
I'll add that to my death book.
Alright, now we can grow crops on our farm.
Sure, they'll happily buy corpse meat, but they're a little squeamish about veggies grown near a graveyard.
But we gotta wait a week for the merchant to show up. This was my bad because I am sort of winging this LP. I mostly finished it, Except something stupid happened to me, which I'll talk about in a second. I should buy the teleport stone. But it might be a good idea to sort of look up a guide to see a good order of operations, because I had taken care of those slimes way earlier, and I could have gone back to Horadric, and then he would have mentioned the merchant, and I would have been able to activate the farm early. But whatever.
And gotten a free beer.
Oh, right. Dead Horse is the name of the pub. I thought you could just teleport to a dead horse.
Just the nearest dead horse in your area.
This right here is the iron ore.
There's a little bit of bog iron up here.
It's enough to get you started, and to break your shovel. It takes me a long time to fix that shovel.
I think there's a pretty decent amount, actually.
Across the bridge that we saw earlier that we need to repair, there's more iron in that swamp. After a point, that's not where you're going to be getting most of your iron, though.
Nah, I don't think it even respawns.
Nope. So you need to be careful.
Or you're gonna be paying Kretzball to visit and spending a whole bunch of money that you don't have.
Oh, here, we can buy some eggs. And as long as you just look at those eggs, you get some recipes.
I could fry this.
Wait a minute. I could eat this. I could eat this weird goo inside of a hard shell.
This is an interesting character. Well, look at the guy, he must be crazy.
Must he be crazy? Yes, he's crazy. He's got a weed field in the forest. He
Yeah.
lives in a giant pot. Oh, I get it.
He sells you hemp.
Nope, dinner bell. Old man's got the munchies.
Time to go sticking our hands in beehives.
So you're gonna teach us to make edibles.
Yet, got any cake, man?
We can buy some seed oil and some hemp seed.
More like CBD oil.
That guy, he's seriously selling pot.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you're gonna plant anything, you need 4 seeds. So it's nice to add 8. I can make 2 plots of hemp. You need to buy a thing of seed oil from him. Like with the water bucket, you use the seed oil to get oil out of it, and oil can be used for some other things. You actually need specifically the bottle for something, so don't use it if you buy it from him. So here we can tell Jerry has been dead a very long time. He was talking about the astrologer as if he was still young. Young and spry. Here he is old and miserable.
Dude just wants the skull.
dude wants a skull bong.
Maybe he just wants to make it into a candy dish. Werther's Originals.
Candy bong.
Please do not try and smoke caramel.
Yeah, no, it's bad. Don't smoke pot out of dead people. It's weird.
And it very easily could have gotten a skull from any of the corpses that I've worked on so far. I just forgot. You need quite a lot of skulls to finish the game.
Like, surprisingly many. There's a lot of deflated heads underground. Not a whole lot of open caskets in this town. In fact, no caskets whatsoever. Oh lord.
Yeah, you kind of just leave them in the sheet and throw them in the ground.
Oh boy.
Fish food.
There you go.
I rarely cook fish.
It's really not worth doing. Fishing.
Just following the video game law that all video games must have fishing.
Gotta have fishing. Well, I mean, Stardew Valley had fishing, so.
And they pretty much just copied the fishing from Stardew Valley. So he sells a few stuff. There's a difference between quality fish and regular fish. There's at least one side quest that requires silver quality fish. Also, around the lighthouse are some apple trees. This is one of the best places to get apples until you can actually grow them on your own farm. Unfortunately, my shovel is broken, which sucks because there's a few stumps around here. If you dig up the stumps, they will grow into actual apple trees, and you can get more when you come here. For now, I just have to live with the few. You can see there's a lot of fully grown apples around here, but unless there are 2 apples on the ground, you cannot harvest them.
That is the law.
The Inquisitor has spoken.
Thanks for pushing me out of my action.
Your trivial need for rock is meaningless to me.
Ho-hum.
Every time you use a teleport stone, I think it takes like maybe up to 5 minutes before it's fully recharged and you can use it again.
Oh yeah, it's just 10,000 years, so, you know, plan accordingly. It takes like a year and a half to walk all the way to the lighthouse, so a good way to do it if you don't want to miss the astrologer is warp there and then walk back.
Yeah. Alright, now we've got a furnace. Most of these things, you sort of plop the materials on the ground and then you hammer them together.
Yeah, no, I can confirm. That's how building works.
Yeah.
That's my day. Basically, I just throw a pile of shit on the floor and then hit it with a hammer until it is furniture.
I thought you mostly sanded things.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. You brought back the old Sanders cramp.
So another thing to remember about billets, when we can actually use the crematorium, it takes 8 billets, so make sure you have them and you haven't converted them into anything, like firewood.
Or just go chop down some trees and get more billets.
That too. It doesn't take them too long to regrow.
Everyone knows that forging is a passive, unattended activity.
Yeah.
Just leave it going.
No, it's fun. You just let it cook and then metal comes out.
I can make more sandwiches right now. I do want to make some berry juice. We use that to make red jelly, which is a really good energy recovery item. At least for this point of the game. We can make 1 right now.
Yeah, 36, it's not too bad.
And you basically get 108 when you make a recipe, so... 108 energy. You don't make 108 jellies.
That would be a lot of jello.
That's a lot of jelly.
That's like half a rotary potluck.
Alright, but I think that finished our first week.
Yep. We've met everybody. We got all the side quests started.
It's kind of hard to tell because the way you just sleep till your energy's full, like, the days don't have as much rhythm as they do in other games.
Yeah.
Time is meaningless in this pastoral hell.
So most of what you do on, I think of them as Sundays because that's the day the bishop shows up, and that's generally when you do stuff in the church, but we still haven't cleaned up the graveyard yet, so we're not doing that yet. Instead, what I'm going to be doing is sort of cleaning up everything that I can do before the major meat of the game starts coming in. For example, I'm going to try to clear up some of the blockages. There's one blockage in particular that blocks away to this large field that's also connected to a quarry and a coal mine. So right away I can mine some coal and I never need to make firewood ever again.
Yeah, that's a really good idea. It's kind of a sequence break because you're not really pointed there until a fair bit later.
Yeah. Not until we've met Snake, in fact.
Yeah.
But we will also be doing that tomorrow. I say tomorrow, next part.
Sure. Tomorrow, if you're watching this down the line, binge watching it on YouTube, in which case, go to bed, man. Go to bed. What are you doing?
It's 2 in the morning.
To keep the timeline going, this was... The video was recorded in September. This was recorded March of 2020, approximately 17 years later.
Yeah, that's right. We're all extremely old now. I was a young astrologer, actually, when Thorn started recording.
And look at me now.
Now I'm an old man, and I don't care about...
I've always been a skull.
It's true, yeah. I mean, you just... Go home, you're drunk.